congratulations, first of all, to you on making it this far and winning the regional championship. I ask you to spell your first name and your last name so that they can make sure it's right in the newspapers. And then we will ask you for a brief opening statement and then questions.
Michael Cottrell, Michael Cottrell. I guess we're just, we're certainly excited about the opportunity we have Saturday to play for a state championship. Our guys are practicing hard already, and I'm excited about the opportunity.
Questions for Coach Cottrell?
Coach Gene Galin from the Chatham Journal. You've played Chatham Charter before, so how are you going into preparing for this big championship game this coming Saturday?
Well, we have played them 3 times actually, and they're a really well coached team. As far as our side, I think we're just going to continue with business as usual. We've seen different teams all year long, and this team seems to adjust well, so the adjustments we need to make will probably be game time adjustments.
I've got a follow-up question then. What are you doing? What's going on in your community? What's going on in your school? What's the level of excitement, involvement about this upcoming game?
Tremendous excitement in our community. Hayesville is a small community, but we have a tremendous basketball tradition. Our girls, way back in the 90s, won 6 straight state titles. I think Bishop McGinnis finally beat that streak a few years ago, and so we were fortunate to get one in 2004. And our community is really, really supportive of all of our athletic programs, and right now they're really excited about what we're trying to do.
What are your feelings about playing this game at Reynolds Coliseum?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go up to a game a few years ago after the renovation and watch Western Carolina and NC State play a men's game, and it was an unbelievable atmosphere. They've done a great job on that. I think it's a perfect venue for a high school championship. So we're really excited about playing there.
Caleb Tallman, Team FY Sports. Coach, you've had some really, really good teams in the past. It's not your first, really high-level team. You've won myriads of conference championships. You had a team go 29-1. Of course, you won a state championship in 2004. Maybe how does this team compare to some of the teams you've had in the past that maybe didn't make it quite this far, or, even comparing it to your state championship team that had Brett Bracken as an elite point guard and Joseph Chilton as an elite big?
Yeah, I think there are some similarities to that team, position-wise. Every team's got their own, personality, and they do things a certain way. And this team's like no other I've had. But there are some characteristics that are similar with championship teams, and this team has those, obviously. And we're hoping that, that can carry us into Saturday.
Hey, Coach. Victor Hensley, Chatham News and Record. When you look at you guys, the talent you guys have on your roster, one of the names that jumps out is obviously Jake McTaggart. He seems like he can kind of be a game wrecker at times, and pretty hard to deal with, as you kind of saw in the regional finals. So, what is going to be the key to him having a successful game against Chatham Charter, and how are you guys going to end up pulling that thing out if you do?
Chatham Charter controls the tempo really well. They play tremendous defense, and they do a good job of, slowing you down and making them play, making you play their style of basketball, and they're really good at that. So Jake will have to depend on his teammates like he has all year, and he may have to be patient some as the game progresses, but he is a very good player, and he played very well in the regionals, and he's healthy and excited about Saturday.
Coach Gene Galin from the Chatham Journal again. Which specific players have you seen the biggest improvement in from the start of this season to this point?
That's a good question. You know, we've got a lot of experience coming back actually from last year's team. We had 4 starters that started last year for us, and they've all improved tremendously. You know, probably you know, the 2 guys that come off the bench for us have been crucial in our success, and that's Kyle Lunsford and Taylor McClure. Kyle was a starter last year and had an injury early coming into the season and missed the first part of the season, and he's really making an impact on us. And Taylor is a tremendous athlete that helps us in a lot of ways, especially defensively. He can match up at just about any position. So those 2 guys have probably shown the most improvement throughout the year as we progressed.
Thank you.
Victor Hensley, Chatham News and Record again. Coach, with you guys being, I think you're 27-0 at this point. How did you guys get to that point where, you know, from the beginning of the season to now, how did you, you know, run the table, get to this point, and kind of what does your journey look like, you know, up to this point?
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of coaches know this doesn't start at the first of the season. It started this summer, and prior to that, you know, a lot of these guys have played since they were freshmen. You know, at a small school, sometimes you have to pull them up off the JV team early in their career to fill your roster and put the best players you can on the floor. So, you know, our journey started way back then, and we've tried for years to overcome some of the different hurdles that we've had to jump this year to get to the state finals. And I think these guys have learned how to do that. They're tremendous competitors. They love challenges. Throughout the year, they've shown that. Our conference was a really good conference this year. They've shown that in the playoffs from top to bottom. I think our 7 teams, our 6 teams in our league were as good as anybody's, and it's helped us, you know, kind of get weathered for the playoffs. And so I give credit to our conference opponents because they changed things up on us, ran different defenses, and got us prepared for this.
And with you guys being, you know, like you mentioned, such a small community, you know, you got a state championship, you know, almost 2 decades ago at this point. So what will how special will it be for you guys to kind of come in here and win this thing if you do?
Yeah, we try not to talk too much about winning it. I think that we're focused on every possession, you know, throughout the game, and then see where we are in the fourth quarter. But it would mean a tremendous amount to these young men and our community to try to bring one back to Hayesville after so many years. So, you know, the challenge is great in front of us. Chatham Charter is a tremendous basketball team, and they've proven that all year long. They've won close ones, and they've blown people out. So they've got a really good team, and we're very well coached. So we're looking forward to that challenge. But if it does happen, then obviously, like every community, you know, we'll celebrate then.
Coach, what's your team schedule going to look like for Saturday?
Yeah, we're in a little different situation than they are probably. I would imagine they're pretty close to Raleigh. I remember traveling out there a few years ago and how far a trip that was. We'll come up Friday and spend the night, and then Saturday morning we'll find a venue to practice and have a shoot around, and we'll get some lunch together and head over to Reynolds. We won't do anything different than we do normally when we're here at home. We'll try to keep it as common as we can.
Coach, they mentioned Jake McTaggart, but you also have another star in Coby Ash, your point guard, 4-year starting point guard, 89-11 as a starter throughout his 4 years, and more specifically, 42-1 as your starting point guard in the last 2 seasons. Just talk about that special relationship that you have with him and the type of leader he has been for your team throughout his 4 years in the program.
Yeah, he's I don't know, he's a coach's dream. I feel like he's my 3rd son. I've got 2 older sons, and I feel like he's my 3rd. We live in the gym together. You know, Coby is a very quiet young man, but really leads by example. And what we do goes through him. He's our captain. He's our leader, and he has been for the last 4 years. So I feel very confident when he's on the floor. He makes me a much better coach than I really am. He makes some calls out there that I don't see, and he helps me. So, I'm a much more confident coach when he's on the floor. Sorry, just had somebody turn off my light.
Anything else for Coach Cottrell?
Yeah, I got one last one. What's your best memory so far of this season, Coach?
Wow, that's a good question. Probably our last win against Winston-Salem Prep. We have a lot of great memories, a lot of good wins against really tough opponents. But that last hurdle we had to jump to get to have this opportunity was a really memorable experience. I was humbled by the fan support we had all the way up in Asheville, and we filled the gym up, and our community almost like they shut Ingalls down to come watch us play. So we were really blessed to have that kind of community behind us, and it was a lot of fun for the kids.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Coach, somebody brought it up 2004. It's hard to believe it when they said it's almost been 2 decades. That doesn't feel right. But you know what? It'll be another good Saturday for you guys at Reynolds Coliseum, win or lose. And good luck to you. And I hope you guys have a safe trip. We look forward to hosting you this weekend.
Thank you. We look forward to it. Thank you, guys.